guys, what a wonderful win last night. It's sun shining today. Springboks have won the rugby championship. Is there anything better in this world at this moment? Well, not if you're a Springbok fan. Guys performed amazingly well. And yes, some thoughts about the game and what I thought was the most important factors from it. Okay, so the first thing, of course, is what an emphatic win for the Springboks. And if you're going to make an emphatic statement, winning the rugby championship in the World Cup here is one of those big, amazing things you can do as a Springbok team. One, it cements the country together. It gets everyone behind you. There's this feel-good factor in South African rugby at the moment, which is unbelievable. And going into World Cup, just think of where we were a year ago, guys. I mean, just... I mean, that doesn't tell you exactly how far Russia's brought this team, and the depth that this created this year has been amazing. So I think in that they deserve a round of applause. They've got the championship now in their hands. Now it's up to the World Cup. Talking about rugby statements that were made on the night, on the day in Argentina and Salta. It's a place we've struggled in the past. If you think about how Springbok teams the last 5-7 years have gone to Argentina and scraped home with the win, lost in there. Really not the greatest record in Argentina as such of late. And if you think of the South African Super Rugby sides, how they've struggled, I think only the Lions have won in the last couple of years there in Super Rugby. So just saying that, it's become a really difficult place, a bit of a bogey for South African teams. And wasn't it nice to see a South African team go there, be dominant, look good, and really make a statement? Now, I know people are going to say, you don't win the Rugby Championship and the World Cup in the same year. The statistics have shown you that. The history has shown you that. But hey, history is there to be made, and the rules are made to be broken, and those things. So I think I'd rather be in the situation where Russia is at this moment, guys, where you've come from nothing, you've created momentum, you're on an upward curve. Where you look at some of the other teams in the competition, Argentina have got some problems, especially in the set piece. New Zealand lost against Australia. It's hard to understand what exactly is going there. Maybe Steve Hansen's putting a quick one over us there, but I really don't think so. And I think some teams are going to have a lot of confidence against New Zealand, although they still will be a massive factor at the World Cup, I'm sure. Australia are suddenly a factor again. They've shown that they can get it right. They can get back in there. And they beat New Zealand, and that was a massive boost for their confidence as well. So they'll also be a factor. But if I was, where Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus is right now, I'd be pretty happy. I think if you're unbeaten in the Rugby Championship, the South is rising again, as the pundit Stephen Jones said the other day on Twitter, and I think the Northern Hemisphere will take note. Part of that emphatic statement is the fact that they made such a big effort up front. The pack was dominating. It controlled the game, and really we saw some great depth. The bench made a huge impact in both this game and the one in New Zealand as well. And we really saw a lot more depth in Springbok rugby. So there's a lot of good things to happen. And I think just one of my favourites, and this is number one on the list today, is the front row. Just think about it, guys. A year ago we were talking about the Beast and Taurira being over the hill. Stephen Kitsoff was the man he was going to take. How long can Beast last? He got his 100th cap, but will he be able to make the World Cup? Over the evidence of the last 3 weeks, 3 matches, geez, you'd have to say there's something's happened with Beast. He's hungry, he's powerful, he's earning his nickname again, and he's such a legend in Springbok rugby, and he's really doing well. So, he's big players turn up in big games, and no less than Beast. And then we have Trevor Nyakani, guys. I mean, also as well, over the last couple of years, there's been some question marks about Trevor. Is he really a tight head? Can he make the switch from loose head? And since he's been working with Don Himon, who really made us laugh this week when he told us, Trevor's always been good. It's just about packing his lunchbox the right way. Don's analogy was something along the lines of, we all get our lunches packed for us, but if you pack your lunch your own way and you know how you're going to eat, you eat better at lunchtime. So make that of what you will if you think it makes sense. Quite a bit esoteric there in a way, but anyway. But Trevor has been amazing this season, and really, if you look at his performance in Salta, 15 tackles there, amazing. Really, where do you see a tight forward, a front ranker making 15 tackles in a game? That's something we normally leave up to a guy like Peter Steph de Toy, and we rave about him, not rant around. We rave about him when he does that. And wow, Trevor, just wow. The way he's definitely the number one tight head in the country at the moment. That front row is really, and don't forget Bongi Mndambi. Bongi last year against France came on and suddenly his game just went upwards from there. So, it's quite funny that some people in Blue Bulls country, when you're still playing for them, thought he'd never make it as a Springbok, and now he's going to the World Cup, challenging Malcolm Marx, and I think really doing a good job. There's competition in that front row, and that is amazing at the moment for the Boks. Number 2 is defence, guys, and then if you look at that, really the press defence, the rush defence really worked, suffocated Argentina, didn't allow them to get those offloads away, didn't allow them to get that momentum in that game, and even when they were camped on in that second half, camped on their own try line, the Boks was simply amazing with just their spirit and how they didn't let it through. And I think one of the big things for the Boks this year has been the scramble defence, which when somebody does get through is so comfortable at the moment. They close it down very quickly. So defence is looking good. Jacques Nienaber has done a great job there. Number 3, I think I just want to look at the performance of 1 or 2 guys I thought who stood out. Let's start with Handré Pollard. Man of the match performance, really kicked well, 31 points in at the end of the day, really a top-class Springbok performance. He was behind a pack that was dominating, so a lot easier for him. But what was nice was seeing Handré again with confidence, attacking the line and scoring those 2 tries close to the line and backing himself. Makes the defence think, or make other defences think when the Boks on attack, gives them more options as well. So he was good. I thought Damien de Lende was excellent as well, especially in defence. Really closed down things as well, and I think Damien doesn't always get the credit that he deserves, and I thought he did well as well. So that's number 3. There were some individuals that stood out other than the front row, obviously the whole entire pack. In fact, it was very difficult to find somebody that didn't stand out in this game. And yeah, that's why I'd like to go to number 4 for that one. Is I've seen on social media there's some bleating about Faf de Klerk's performance and the box kicking and how Chesn Colby changed the game when he didn't. One thing you must remember, Chesn didn't box kick because, one, there was nobody to chase on one side of the field, so it really limited his options. And he really became just a link between the forwards and the backs. And the Boks did well while Faf was off the field. That being said, Faf didn't have his greatest game. Let's be honest. I think he'll be the first one to admit that. I think he'll tell you himself if you ever bump into him. But it's not really something to worry about. I think Faf is the type of guy who's always going to be on the edge. He's always going to be on the line. He's always going to take the game right to the edge there, and always going to try and win that extra half yard. And sometimes it gets it wrong. But that's Faf de Klerk. I mean, he's still our number 1 scrum half at the moment. I know there's been calls for Herschel Yankees, and he's definitely putting pressure on him. But Faf will get it right, and I think those games where it goes a bit wrong, we can forgive him. On the night in Salta where they won quite easily, I don't think there's going to be too much bleating about that. Number 4, it's just how good the South African line-out is working at the moment. I think we've really got options everywhere. If you think Loer de Jager hasn't played, Erg Snyman hasn't really had a chance yet. Franco Mostert probably had his best game in a Springbok jersey in a long time. He was just everywhere. He made the most tackles, I think 17 in the game. Really a great performance by Franco Mostert, and he's really put his hand up. So Russie's got a couple of question marks there, but does he take 3 locks and Peter Steff as a swinger loose forward? Does he take Peter Steff as a loose forward, take 4 locks and increase his chances? You can only put 2 on the field, 1 on the bench at any time, but it definitely creates some options for Russie. But I think the line-out is probably the strongest thing, and the set pieces, that tight 5 and that pack is really, really looking good, and that's a good thing ahead of the World Cup. Number 5 and the last one here would be the bench, and that's the one thing we've seen. We saw the bench make an impact in Johannesburg. We saw them really make an impact when Trevor and Beast came on in Wellington, and Frans Steyn, Herschel Yankees, has made an impression whenever he's been on the field. With Frans Steyn coming onto the field, I know Russie keeps on telling us that he's getting him used to the pace of rugby, test rugby again, but Frans has really played his heart out when he's come onto the field. Jesse Kriel as a reserve as well has really come on, done pretty well. I don't think there's anybody who hasn't come on and made an impact there. So I think the bench is the nice thing, and that's what you need in international rugby. And that's what you need, is that bit of upward momentum at the right time, that impetus coming from the bench, just to up that tempo at the right time and just make that huge impact. And that's what the Boks are having at this moment. I must admit, tactically, they've been spot on so far. There's not really much you can grumble about in this rugby championship. And well done to the Boks for that. So that's it, guys. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what I've missed. Tell me what you'd like to hear. There's going to be many more of these videos going into the World Cup, and we'll see how they go. But yeah, let's enjoy the moment. A lot can happen in the World Cup. I wouldn't write any team off just yet, but a lot can still happen. And yeah, well done to the Springboks. It gave us a great rugby championship to watch. So well done, guys. Chat to you soon.